Hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you have never been here before, my name is Lauren and I am your resident intuitive baddie. And I am back with another reading. You guys seem to I I seem to have a better response with the overhead view. So expect a majority of the readings to be filmed like this. But yeah, I have been wanting to do this spread for a while. Um, it's pretty much it's pretty much a love reading. However, I'm doing my best to also I don't even know what I'm trying to say to refrain from them. I don't know. I've been simultaneously excited as well as dreading doing this spread. Um, but what I will be doing is oh, three three cards for the divine masculine, three cards for the divine feminine, and then three cards connecting. I'm gonna start and end with an oracle card. Um, and yeah, I I'd like to see the connecting energies. I did this spread for myself. I don't know if this is somebody else's spread. I don't know, but in my mind, this is my spread. And yeah, if you don't have a person in mind that makes sense for the spread as a romantic spread, you can always look at this as the the connecting energy between your inner feminine and masculine. Otherwise, this is a divine counterpart read, and don't be surprised if that's a lot of the language. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but let's start with an oracle card just to get the vibes. All right, split Gill, adapt. So off the bat, what this is telling me is that this is a situation that is going to take some adaptation, whether that is just in the current energy, adaptation is occurring. I don't know. We will find more out, but keep this in mind. Let's put this over here for now. Okay, we're gonna start with the divine masculine energy. Give me three cards for the divine masculine, please. Ooh, do I want to take these exact three? I guess I should. Okay, we got the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Wands upright, as well as the Page of Pentacles. All right, let's get the corresponding divine feminine cards. Three for the divine feminine, please. Okay, so we have the King of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles here. And for the connecting energy, I'm realizing now that I probably should have filmed this a little wider. Because as you can see, there is no room. I'm gonna have to overlap them, which is fine. Can I get connecting energies for... Okay. Someone's running from me. Whew. And one more. There we go. All right. All right, so for the connecting energies, we have the King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, as well as the Queen of Wands. So, how I'm going to read this first is I'm going to go across for the Divine Masculine. I'll go across again for the Divine Feminine, and then I will go across for the connecting energies. And then I'm going to, what's the up and down? If this is across, okay, whatever. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read this way. Yeah. So let let us start with the divine masculine. Since I don't have the room, I'm just going to put these ones to the side here in their corresponding orders. So, representing the divine masculine energy, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Wands, as well as the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So, Seven of Swords. In its upright, Seven of Swords has to do with pretty much, I say it's like a sneaky energy. It's somebody trying to get away with something, somebody trying to pull a fast one. That's how I see it. And yeah, even in the card here, you see the person trying to get away with it, and then you got the crow up here in the front, and it's loud. I want to say it looks loud. So it being in the reverse, I always look at that as this energy coming to light or being exposed in some way, or a confession is also an option there, or I guess an energy that can be represented by the by this card in the reverse. So that's what I'm getting for that card. Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is passionate. It is one of the faster moving knights. Um, I want to say there's a little bit of an impulsivity to this knight, but rather than impulsivity, I would just say fast acting. Um, yeah, there's something very passionate about this person. I guess specifically when it comes to you, or they might be receiving this passionate energy when they think of you. It's because knights are messengers, right? So whether this is representing them wanting to come towards you and with a passionate energy, or them feeling passionate whenever they receive a message about you. I'm getting more that than the former. Yeah, I think I feel like this is very much more representative of how they feel when they get intuitive hits about you. And then last we have the Page of Pentacles. The pages are childlike energy. Um, I think Page of Pentacles in its upright has to do with new ideas that are leading towards a manifestation of something. So in the reverse, again, because it's childlike energy, it comes across as something more immature. It could be an idea for a manifestation that isn't completely coming off the ground. Um yeah, something like that. It's like I also think of reverse pages as kind of like start stop energy. So what does this say altogether, right? Altogether, what I'm seeing is, yes, like the end of The end of an energy that is secretive. Ooh. Ooh, I am looking at a spider right now. So, if you don't know, in symbolically, spiders are the weavers. So the fact that I'm looking at a spider right now as I'm talking about this indicates something is being woven together. And I guess it has to do with whatever is being illuminated right now, whatever has been hidden from you that is being illuminated, which I can only guess is how this person feels about you. Maybe, or the fact that they've been getting passionate, intuitive hits about you. They've been feeling this way, is what I'm getting. And what I'm seeing when it comes to the Page of Pentacles is the reason why this hasn't manifested yet is because of an energy that's a little bit more immature. What I would assume is that you might have a much higher maturity level than this person, and this could be in general or it could just be spiritually. But yeah, there's something about this where this person, it's like this person wants to manifest something with you. They want something solid. That's why we're getting the pentacles instead of the cups. But I'm getting something either that they weren't ready for it, or even possibly something about a heart closure. I'm just getting that from the fact that these two cards have that similar blue green sky here, and they're both in reverse. So not just heart but expression as well. I think this seems to be a masculine whose expression is tied to their heart and it's been blocked. Let's get some more information on this. This is going to be a long spread, by the way. I'm going to pull 3 clarifier cards for each card, so stay tuned, my friends. Okay, can we get a clarification for the 7 of Swords, please? Okay, interesting. We have the Ace of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles sideways. All right, so Ace of Wands is typically the energy, it's a new energy. It's the beginning of something. I'd like to think of it as like a new idea, or the a new idea that's like a burning passion, I want to say. So this is like the start of a passionate energy. And then you have the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is, I like to say, the happy ending card. It's it's the card of full emotional fulfillment, after wish fulfillment, divine partnership, longevity in family. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles, which the Queen of Pentacles is typically somebody who is a nurturer, somebody who's able to nurture themselves, their family. They're able to provide. They're able to provide from within, as well as um, materially. And the fact that it's coming out sideways, when for myself, the way that I read cards that come out sideways like this, I typically look at them as um, either being in between the energies, or yeah, somewhat stuck between the two energies. So in in the reverse, the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who doesn't take care of themselves, who um because in the upright, another description is, I think, the working parent. So in the reverse, there's this indication of imbalance, or really needing to self nurture because maybe you're over giving to everything around you. So what I'm getting from this card is they might either they see they're not sure how to see you, and they're stuck between whether you are this Queen of Pentacles or not, or they have conflicting feminine energies in their lives, where it might be somebody who they see as the Queen of Pentacles but maybe doesn't act like the Queen of Pentacles, or maybe isn't in the Queen of Pentacles all the time. I'm getting like, I'm well, because it's the Queen of Pentacles, I'm getting a mother figure. Doesn't have to be. Take what resonates, of course. But this is all clarifying the Seven of Swords. So again, Seven of Swords is typically in the upright somebody being deceiving, or some sort of deception energy. And then in the reverse, it's either that coming to light, getting the truth, just what's the word I'm looking for? Exposure of whatever the betrayal is, right? So it's exactly kind of what I thought it was in the beginning, where what was hidden from you is that they've always had this idea of starting something with you. They see it. They see the happy ending that they can have with you. But whatever this is part of, I guess, what keeps it hidden. So whether it's a different feminine energy that is confusing them, or whether it's just you, whether it's just them not really being able to read you in that way and understand what it is about you, or whether you'll be able to nurture them in the way that they would like to be nurtured. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on. So that is clarifying the Seven of Swords. I definitely should have filmed in a wider aspect. Let me see if I can change it up. Okay, cool. I think this is a lot better. So now you can kind of see the whole thing. All right, so we're going to move on to the Knight of Wands now. Let's clarify the Knight of Wands. 3 for the Knight of Wands, please. So clarifying the Knight of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords reversed. Okay. So, like I had said earlier, I had a feeling that this was representing intuitive hits that they've been getting about you, and this has been what is making them feel this passion towards you. And I do feel like that's confirmed here because we have the Queen of Cups here, which is what I'm assuming, or how I assume that they see you, but there's something that they're clinging on tightly to. And Nine of Swords, so the Nine of Swords, I look at this card as that one thought that keeps you up all night. Um it's just like an overthinking card, right? So in the reverse, sometimes I look at it as releasing that, but in this case, I'm taking it as internalization. So there is a thought that they have that they've been holding on to tightly and really, really internalizing. And I get that it has to do with your emotional maturity, because the Queen of Cups is somebody who is very in tune with their emotions. They're very much in flow. I feel, aside from the Empress, I feel like out of all the queens, the Queen of Cups is the most feminine, just because it's so connected to the feminine aspect of flowing and being in tune with your emotions. How else can I describe that without describing the exact same things that I already said? I don't know, but yeah, somebody who's fluid with their emotions, somebody very emotionally mature, heart led too. Even just the way, it's like the way that she kind of I feel like it looks like her chest is up, even though, sorry, I'm like mimicking the card off camera. You can't see. This is funny. Um but yeah, I'm doing the motion too, and yeah, it seems that her chest is raised, so she's very heart led. Um so what I'm curious about is what is this thought that they're holding on to? Or is this thought what's carried on from the Seven of Swords that they couldn't tell you for some reason? Sometimes I forget to do this, but to check the bottom of the deck. So the bottom of the deck we have the Hangman, which is looking at things from a different perspective. So this might be something that they've been trying to do. Top of the deck, Lovers, alignment. Something to do with alignment here. I mean, generally those are good cards, so I wonder what it is that they're internalizing. I mean, let's move on. Okay, let me put these. I'm gonna try. How do I want to do this? I'll do it like this. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Can we clarify the Page of Pentacles in reverse, please? Oh, wow. All three came. Oh, wait, no. That's just two. Okay, we got the World. Got the Five of Cups. Nine of Wands. Right, so this is the manifestation energy, right? Or delayed, blocked, start, stop energy, immature energy. We have the World, Five of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. So the World is completion. The World is the last card in the major arcana. It typically signals to closing out cycles. Five of Cups. Five of Cups talks about basically the way that I describe it is crying over spilt milk, because it's like this person is sad about these three being empty, and they have a full one behind them. And in this deck, it's depicted as this person is allowing this one to spill as well into this like abyss looking thing. So yeah, it pretty much has to do with not being satisfied. And then the Nine of Wands, like the Nine of Wands is um it's also completion energy, because it's it's pretty much somebody who's near the brink of exhaustion, someone who has strong boundaries up, because they've been carrying all these wands and they're just about at the end of their journey. Nines also in tarot, I find to be a very independent energy as well. And like you can even kind of feel it in this girl's vibe. Like she's got this one stick, this one wand, and you know, she's got the energy there. She got this gate, and she just looks like you don't she don't look like somebody you fuck with. I'm not gonna lie. So, okay, so altogether, what is this giving me? This is giving me the completion of a cycle of emotional lack, as well as ooh, oh, I made a video one time that had to do with the difference between, I guess, like having boundaries and having walls up. So, what this is kind of giving me is that this masculine, whatever this energy, this immature start stop wanting to manifest something but not being able to due to, I'm going to say, immaturity, it has to do with something that with a cycle that they had to complete. So if they were somebody who felt lack even though they have things to be grateful for, and there's somebody who is typically guarded, I want to say, and is used to being independent, these these things might have arisen for them in childhood, and that's why it's coming up as the clarifier for the Page of Pentacles. All right, let's get into the divine feminine energy. I always assume that most of the people reading or watching these readings would be divine feminines. Okay, let's clarify the King of Swords. Or what? Actually, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So going back to the divine feminine energy, we're on the bottom now. We have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is somebody who is very, I want to say, very intellectual, someone very level-headed, able to make very good decisions from a logical standpoint, I want to say. You got the owl in the corner there. They're very wise. Actually, you have a couple different birds here. We have the crow, which is represented in most of the swords of this deck. We have a bat, and then we have an owl. So bats and owls are both nocturnal creatures. They work best at night. I'm not entirely sure why that is coming through specifically. Maybe you you think the clearest at night. Oh, you got a dragonfly as well. It's also a creature of the night, I want to say. But it's so interesting because this card is set in daytime. Like he's on top of a mountain. You see the flowers here. You can see the sky is very, very blue. So somebody very expressive, very sovereign in their expression. Then we have the Two of Wands. I always look at the Two of Wands as should I stay or should I go energy. Um, but in the card, you clearly see that going is favored, or venturing into something new is what is desired here. And then we also have the Two of Pentacles, which represents balance most of the time. With this deck, I always look at it as the material versus the spiritual. Having two twos here, I'm I'm feeling there's something very balanced about your energy, or about the feminine energy. Specifically in when it comes to your passion, your sacral energy is very strong. There's a lot of orange here. Hmm. Sorry, I'm pausing because I'm trying to make sense of the two twos. What I'm getting is that there's a decision that you have to make, but and you know the answer is what I'm getting from this Two of Wands. You know the answer already. You know what's going to bring you balance, but for some reason you're still juggling. It's kind of what I'm getting. Well, let's get into it. Let's see what the cards have to say. I'm just wanting to look at the timing here. Okay. So, clarifying the King of Swords. Okay, clarifying the King of Swords, we have Judgment in reverse. So, the feeling of something being unfair. Two of Cups in reverse, self love. And the Page of Swords in reverse. So, again, this start stop energy, but this has more to do with an idea or something you've been thinking about starting, I want to say, especially with this imagery of her reading the book and then having having the light bulbs kind of in place of balloons. I know I haven't been doing this for every card, but let me look at the so we got the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck, some sort of underlying boredom, and Seven of Pentacles in the reverse at the top. You feel like you've been waiting for a long time. All right, so King of Swords, the sovereign energy, this expression, having very beautiful ideas at night. I'm getting that there's something that you felt was unfair. There's something in the situation that felt unfair to you, and that's why you went within. You decided to pour love into yourself, even though you may have wanted to pour it into a connection. And then there's this idea that I want to say has been in a standstill for a while. I'm thinking again about that Seven of Pentacles in reverse at the top of the deck. This feeling like you've been waiting long. But with this spread specifically, I don't feel necessarily it's that you've been waiting really long for this. It's just that the idea was stuck in limbo with whatever you were feeling. You took care of yourself first before you could work on any new projects. That's what I'm getting. And right now you're in this leadership energy now. Because I also believe that the King of Swords is a very good leader. All the kings are very good leaders, but I think there's something to do with the intellect and the speech here. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Two of Wands. Can we clarify the Two of Wands? I think the next time I do this, I'm going to use a different tarot spread. Just so that, I don't know, there's more variety. Because I think by the end of the spread, I mean, 27 out of 78 cards is only like a fraction or like a third of the cards, but I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say. Okay, so to clarify the Two of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and the Strength card. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands in reverse, releasing of a burden. Top of the deck, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Pentacles is typically an independent, like very independent and abundant energy. So in the reverse, that could signal to either codependency or maybe codependency in finances specifically. All right, so with the Two of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune going again. Wheel of Fortune, Sun, and the Strength in reverse. So there's an energy of your luck turning. And something, and there's a beautiful energy you have right now. Because I'm heavily getting that you are the sun, and and it is precisely that energy that you have of the sun that is turning your luck. But you there's still something you don't feel as confident about, or you don't have the strength for, or at least it feels like you don't have the strength for. And maybe that's why I've been so confused about this, because you have two choices and it's clear which choice is right for you and which choice you inherently want. But what I'm getting is that this lack of strength is the only thing that makes this an option. This could be in a manifestation for you. This could be in travel, as the Two of Wands is typically about travel. can see here. Got the globe and the, what is this? Um, a van or something, a vehicle. So maybe you feel it could be a move that you're stuck between. It could be moving towards a new job, some sort of manifestation. I'm not getting this has to do with the connection specifically. But then again, we do have the connector cards to look at after. But yeah, let's move on to the Two of Pentacles. So what's this Two of Pentacles about? What is in balance for my feminines, my divine feminines? Self-love. Rest. Ooh. We got a fast-moving energy here with the Chariot as well. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit in reverse. Isolation. Top of the deck, Five of Swords, conflict. Mental conflict, specifically. Okay. So what I'm getting from this is that, again, this self-love energy, or, well, Ace of Cups is actually the start of a new love. Or it's one way to look at it, but it can also be looked at as self-love because one, Ace is also one. And then, oh, wait. Actually, I think Ace of Cups in the reverse is actually self-love. Yeah, I believe the Ace of Cups is actually just the beginning of a new relationship or beginning of new emotions. It's beginning. um, you got the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is rest and rejuvenation. In this deck, you have the red string of fate here, connected to a heart within the nest. And then you have the Chariot, which is fast-moving energy. So, what I am getting from this, I'm still going to take this as a self-love card, as like a number one, or cultivating this energy within yourself, this new energy within yourself. It starts with yourself anyways. But I'm getting that that's because that has because of this love that you've poured into yourself, you're ready for new experiences. There we go. All the time that you've spent recuperating over the, I feel like the energies that you had here in the King of Swords with this idea thing, um it's ready to move now because everything is more in balance. Good energy, good energy. But I had a feeling that I was going to run out of storage because I knew that this was going to be a longer video, just knowing how long the spread was going to be. So unfortunately, I did pull some, or I started to get into the middle energy or the connecting energy. But to finish off where I'm pretty sure I finished off, or where the video cut me off, um, balance, going back to these energies. So I'm taking this as self-love, even though I believe this is just the beginning of new relationships. But I mean, you can think about it as the beginning of a relationship with yourself that you poured into. And you poured into it because you needed to rest after this heartbreak here, but that's over now, and you have cultivated balance within yourself, which is why things are moving again. um and I believe I said something in the originally I said something about the balance between isolation and hermiting, because at the time the hermit in the reverse was at the bottom of the deck. I don't remember what was at the top. Oh, yeah, actually I don't remember what was at the top. But the hermit in the reverse was at the bottom, which tends to indicate isolation. So yeah, it's like you might have been resting for so long that you just didn't know that you were still resting. Or it got to a point where it was more isolation than you protecting your energy or trying to figure things out on your own. um where was I going with that? Yeah, it's, I mean, everything is balance. Everything is about balance. So the energy within you is balanced now because you've poured into yourself. That's what we're gonna go with. I don't think that's what I originally said, but unfortunately, this is what we got because we got cut off for a reason, for whatever reason. So connecting energies, I had pointed out that we have counterparts here, and not just any counterparts; they're direct counterparts. Wands, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, courage, passion, social butterfly, confidence, passion. And then in the middle, we have the Eight of Cups, walking away. So, what it's kind of giving me is that there is a sense from that maybe each energy feels that the other energy walked away. Let's get into it. So, I had already pulled these cards for to clarify the King of Wands. We have Page of Cups in reverse, Three of Cups in reverse, and Page of Wands in reverse. So all of the pages now that have been pulled have all come up in reverse. So what this alludes to is this this immaturity, something something not fully developing or being too early, and it has to do with the communication, the bond, but I guess something to do with the communication. But it's like, because this is clarifying the King of Wands, this is a connecting energy. So as much as I want to read this as just the masculine energy, it's something that connects you. So something about the courage. You know what's interesting? It's kind of giving me, especially because the king is in the upright. I feel like when it comes to harnessing the masculine energy in each of you, it's there and you see it. But when it comes to communicating with each other, that's where iPhone storage. That sucks. Oh man, I had gotten through the Eight of Cups and I was on the Queen of Wands when I noticed that the storage stopped. So I'm going to be checking that more frequently now. Um, yeah, what I was saying here was that you both have this courageous, passionate energy about you. When it comes to each of your masculine energies, like they're very in tune there. However, sorry, it was like this. Um, for the most part, I'm getting that when you guys came together, when you guys started to communicate, it was just not the time. Or I don't want to say not the time because I truly believe in divine timing, but it was like it happened for a reason, I want to say. Whatever. Yeah, like communication was happening at a time where you're both immature. I'm even kind of looking at these two as counterparts in a way because you got a masculine and a feminine here in the pages as well. Emotions and action. Um, yeah, there was a lack of it because yeah, when I think of immaturity between these two cards, or because with the pages all being reversed, it just signals to me not being ready. All right, so I'll move on. I did already I did already shuffle those cards. I won't have the bottom of the deck unfortunately for you, but for the Eight of Cups, we had the Hierophant, Justice in reverse, and the King of Pentacles. And what I was getting from this is that I have this sense that both of you feel either both of you had to walk away from the connection at a point, or you're both looking at each other as had walked away from the connection. And what I'm getting is that it was necessary, even though it felt unfair, it was necessary for your higher learning as well as for you to, lack of better term, get your shit together in your finances. Because yeah, the hierophant is all about higher learning, set beliefs, traditions, um, wisdom, teaching. And then King of Pentacles is all about financial stability, leading with financial stability, being able to take care of your people because you got your finances down, right? So if you both walked away to work on these things, you know what I'm getting? I'm kind of getting like, I have this feeling that you were each working on one, and then there was a switch for you to work on the other. Or for you, there's this mirroring effect. And I think that's why I like this spread, because it kind of has to do with mirroring in a way. Got the mirrors here. And yeah, there's something here where I feel like if you were the first, if as the feminine you were the one to work on your spirituality and developing yourself as a teacher first, uh, your counterpart was working on their pentacles, and now that might have switched where you might be working on your pentacles now because you have this down, and now they're working on being a teacher, their higher learning, what they believe, their belief systems. Again, I can't remember what's at the bottom of the deck, so sorry about that. And then let's move on to the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands energy. So we have the High Priestess in reverse, Ten of Wands in reverse, and the Hermit in reverse. I did not realize they were all reversals. But what I was getting, or what I was trying to channel. Oh, and the bottom of the deck we have Ace of Swords in reverse. So the delay of starting a new idea, or starting with a new idea, and then we have the Three of Pentacles at the top of the deck, which is community building, I want to say, creating something together. So High Priestess in reverse speaks to blocked intuition, but what I am getting specifically is I think you guys know you're connected, and whatever the burden was is what was keeping you blocked. Like the block, I feel like the blockage was more of a mental thing than it actually being blockage, if that makes sense. So ten of wands is the release of burden. Hermit is isolation, right? So I'm kind of reading these two cards together as releasing the burden of feeling isolated, which gives you this confident energy. It could even really be releasing the energy of both, releasing what you don't know as well, and releasing the belief that you're alone in this, because you guys are connected. Intuitively, you are connected. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for those. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away all the clarifier cards. And I am going to now read going from top to bottom, or connecting these specific energies from top to bottom. You can look at it as kind of like how they've been affecting each other, or something like that in the story. I think you'll kind of get it when as I do it. Okay, so asking and keeping secrets from you, and it had to do with that courage aspect that I was talking about. The fact that the both of you have courage in your, this is something you align in when it comes to your masculine energy. But I'm feeling, because you have this King of Swords energy, I think this is why they're feeling that they need to bring how they feel into light, because there's something about how you are able to receive this now that is giving them the courage to do so. And then, okay, the Knight of Wands. So this is them getting intuitive hits about you. That's how I was reading it earlier. And then this walking away energy. Then you have your indecision with the Two of Wands. So if you remember earlier, I was saying it was confusing me a little bit, because I'm not entirely sure what the two decisions are. I had My guess is either travel, something about living situations, something about your career. There's a move that you're supposed to make in your life. And for some reason, this energy of walking away from the relationship, or having to walk away from the connection, is entangled. Oh, you know what this might be? And it's funny, because I said I wasn't getting that this had to do with the connection, but now you know what I'm kind of seeing, especially now that I'm connecting it with I guess how they're feeling about you. I think you've been very confused about how they feel about you. Even like taking the fact that both of these are have more orange and red in them, which focuses on stability and passion. Um, I'm getting this feeling that with whatever else is going on in your life, the way that this connection shows up, it kind of, it's it gives that, yeah, it's confusing the feminine's decisions. So it's almost like all of the choices that they make don't just have to do with whether they want to stay or they want to go within career or living situation or within travel. It also has to do with whether they want to stay or go from the connection itself. And I'm getting this sense, specifically between these two, where there might have been a lot of benefit in going. But again, there's just that knowing, that intuitive feeling of passion, specifically that the masculine has for you, where you might be confused because you don't see it. You're like, oh, the fuck? I thought you walked away. But you feel it too, because I mean, again, this is a messenger card, right? So they're getting these intuitive hits either from you consciously or your higher self, or both your higher selves. Something like that. And then let's see, Page of Pentacles in reverse. So immaturity when it comes to taking action or materializing on this. And then we got the Balance here as well. Connected by confidence, being social. So again, this is for both of your feminine energies. I think this is where you connect. But what I'm getting is that there's something within them that even though they have this energy, it feels almost immature, or like they don't exactly know how to wield it in a way that will allow them to manifest whatever it is that they want to manifest, whether it's the connection or something else material in their lives, something solid. There's this feeling of instability that I feel like comes from them. Whereas for you, you feel you've brought this into balance. How interesting. Yeah, I love doing the read like this. Another way I also kind of look at it is kind of like an X as well. Just I did this reading for, I did the spread for myself a while ago, and I kept finding there was something in the diagonal energies as well. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to get into it in this one. This one is already so long. I mean, the fact that I had to start it twice, restart it twice. Uh, okay, so I am just going to close out, I guess, with another oracle just to. Oh, right. So the first oracle card was about adapting. So yeah, I have there's this energy of you guys have been adapting to each other's energy, and specifically with the eight of cups being in the middle, this this adapting happened individually, but mirroring energies. All right. yeah, let's get some closing. Let's get an oracle to close. Close up the reading for us, please. Ooh, way too many cards. Can you get some advice or some last messages? Okay. I'm not going to take all the cards. I'm not even going to look at them. See? Okay, you got the bleeding tooth, which is stagnation. I think you guys have reached a point in this connection where the current state is now in stagnation. So where the beginning, or the oracle card to open, the adapt card, is kind of is more of a signal as to what has been happening. But now we're in stagnation. And what that's kind of giving me, you know what? Hold on. Let me look at. We got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Three of Pentacles still at the top. There's something to do with if you guys want this. I mean, I don't know everybody's situation, but if there's an energy of wanting this to become something, you got to work together to do it. It's going to take nurturing the connection to do it. It's the undertone here. And if not, then this connection might just need to go. The bleeding tooth, I'm gonna look at the definition again. Just, yeah, it's about shifting stagnant energy, whether it's emotional or physical, something that's unfinished. And it's all about asking yourself the questions of, I guess, well, this is a joint thing, right? So again, there's this confusion energy where I also believe that both of you believe that the other walked away, but you're clearly still holding on to it, especially if you have watched this whole reading and if you are here this long, then you're clearly holding on to it. So if you want things to flow again, it really takes you putting the attention on that. And there's something coming through. I think a message I either recorded yesterday or thought about yesterday, but it has to do with just understanding how you feel about things and not speculating too much about what the other person feels. Because what happens is when we get too caught up in how the other person feels, one, we're abandoning our feelings, but two, we're telling ourselves a bunch of stories about how the other person feels when we could just find out how the other person feels. And I'm not gonna lie, it's tough sometimes, especially if you're experiencing something that's like a twin flame dynamic or something more karmic, something where that part of why things are happening the way they are is to learn some sort of lesson. And then you gonna get caught between, is doing something helping because this is something that I feel I need to do and it's going to make me feel better to have answers? Or is this me rushing things? Is this me trying to move ahead of divine timing and just not being able to let go? And To be fair, that is not something I would be able to read for you here. This is something that you would have to come to me for either a personal reading or just personal one-on-one session in general for me to be able to tell you based on certain dynamics like your attachment style or what it sounds like your place is in the relationship, but or lack thereof. um but yeah, I really hope this resonated. I hope that you like this type of reading. Very long. Definitely very long. Maybe I'll reduce it to like two cards, two clarifier cards in the future. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Or maybe I'll just start doing this faster. I don't know. But I want to say thank you so much for listening. Again, if you feel called to do one-on-one work with me, or if you would like a one-on-one reading with me, links are down below. But again, if not, thank you for being here, and until next time.